Life can sometimes twist and turn in ways that seem unimaginable, especially when it comes to family. But sometimes, even the most unexpected betrayals can lead to profound lessons and transformations. This is a story about a mother who, on her 85th birthday, was faced with a betrayal so deep it shook her to her core. But it also led to a surprising turn of events that no one could have anticipated. In the quaint town of Crestwood, where everyone knew each other, lived Eleanor Fitzgerald, a loving mother and grandmother who had dedicated her life to her family. Eleanor had always been the heart of her family, a beacon of warmth and kindness. Her children, Emma, Jack, and Sarah, were her pride and joy, and she had spent her life ensuring they had everything they needed. As Eleanor approached her 85th birthday, she felt a mix of nostalgia and excitement. She had spent countless hours preparing for this special day, decorating her home, baking her famous apple pie, and even selecting her favorite dress for the occasion. She eagerly anticipated a day filled with joy, surrounded by her beloved family. Her children had promised her a grand celebration, and Eleanor had high hopes for a memorable day. But little did she know, her children had a different plan in mind. Their lives had changed over the years, and with their focus on careers and personal issues, they had become increasingly distant from their mother. Yet, they had assured her that her birthday would be special. As the day arrived, Eleanor woke up with a heart full of anticipation. The house was adorned with balloons and flowers, and the aroma of her baking filled the air. She dressed in her favorite dress, feeling like a queen in her own home. The clock ticked away, and Eleanor waited with bated breath for her children to arrive. By noon, Eleanor's children finally arrived, but their demeanor was far from what she had expected. They seemed distracted and indifferent, barely acknowledging the effort Eleanor had put into preparing the celebration. Emma, Jack, and Sarah arrived with forced smiles, barely making eye contact with their mother as they entered the house. Eleanor had hoped for warm embraces and heartfelt conversations, but instead, her children quickly made themselves comfortable, diving into the food and drinks with little regard for their mother's feelings. It wasn't long before Eleanor noticed that something was amiss. The excitement she had anticipated was replaced with a growing sense of unease. After a brief and awkward lunch, Eleanor's children announced that it was time to leave. Confused, she asked where they were going. Her daughter, Emma, replied curtly, "We're taking you somewhere special for your birthday. Get ready." Eleanor, still hopeful for a surprise, followed her children out of the house. As they drove, she tried to make small talk, but her children's responses were terse and uninterested. They eventually arrived at a posh restaurant in the city. Eleanor's heart sank as she saw a sign outside the restaurant that read, "Happy 85th Birthday, Eleanor," in elegant script. She hoped this was a grand gesture, but her children's next actions left her stunned. As Eleanor prepared to enter the restaurant, her son Jack pulled her aside and handed her a small envelope. With a heavy heart, he said, "Mom, we need to tell you something. We've sold your house and the property. The money is needed to cover some debts. We couldn't afford to keep it." Eleanor's face turned pale as she tried to process the news. Her home, her sanctuary, was gone. She couldn't believe that her children had made such a drastic decision without consulting her. Before she could react, a caretaker from a nearby nursing home approached and introduced herself. The caretaker explained that Eleanor would be staying at their facility from now on, as her children had arranged for her to move there. Eleanor's heart shattered as she realized the depth of her children's betrayal. They had not only sold her home, but had also arranged for her to live in a nursing home, stripping her of her dignity and independence. She was overwhelmed by a mix of shock, sadness, and anger. Despite her profound disappointment, Eleanor accepted her new reality with grace. The nursing home staff were kind, and they made an effort to cheer her up, even organizing a small birthday party in her honor. As she sat among strangers, Eleanor tried to find solace in their company. But her thoughts were with her family, who had left her feeling abandoned and heartbroken. As the days passed, Eleanor began to adjust to her new life, though her heart remained heavy. She found comfort in small gestures of kindness from the nursing home staff and other residents. One volunteer, in particular, named Robert, took a special interest in Eleanor. He visited her regularly, bringing her small gifts and engaging her in conversation. Robert was a compassionate man who had faced his own share of struggles. He had lost his wife to illness and found solace in helping others. As he got to know Eleanor, he was deeply moved by her story. He learned about her children's betrayal and the pain she had endured. Robert's empathy grew as he spent time with Eleanor, and he felt compelled to make a difference in her life. One day, Eleanor confided in Robert about a cherished family heirloom she had lost during the move, a locket that had been passed down through generations. She was devastated by its loss, as it held significant sentimental value. Robert, moved by Eleanor's story, decided to take action. He used his connections and resources to help Eleanor. He searched high and low for the locket, reaching out to antique shops, auction houses, and even using social media to spread the word. Weeks passed, and Eleanor's hope for finding the locket began to wane. But Robert's determination never faltered. His efforts paid off when he finally located the locket at a local auction house. It had been purchased by a collector who, upon hearing Eleanor's story, agreed to return the locket to its rightful owner. The day Robert presented the locket to Eleanor was one of the most emotional moments of her life. Tears streamed down her face as she clasped the locket in her hands, feeling a profound sense of relief and gratitude. The locket was not just a piece of jewelry, it was a symbol of her family's history and her own enduring spirit. Eleanor's story touched the hearts of many, including Robert's. The nursing home staff and volunteers rallied around her, providing support and companionship. Eleanor's story of resilience and grace in the face of betrayal became an inspiration to those around her. Her children, upon learning about the impact of their actions through local news and social media, were filled with regret and shame. They reached out to Eleanor, seeking forgiveness and hoping to mend their broken relationship. Eleanor, though hurt, chose to forgive them, understanding that holding on to anger would only hurt her further. Eleanor's decision to forgive her children was not an easy one, but it allowed her to find peace and closure. Her story became a testament to the power of forgiveness and the importance of valuing family relationships. As Eleanor continued her life in the nursing home, she found joy in the new friendships she had made and the love she received from those around her. She became a beacon of hope for others facing similar challenges, showing that even in the face of betrayal, one could find strength, forgiveness, and a renewed sense of purpose. Eleanor's story reminds us that life can be unpredictable and sometimes painful, but it is through these trials that we discover our true strength and resilience. Her journey from betrayal to forgiveness is a powerful lesson in the importance of compassion, understanding, and the enduring power of love. In the end, Eleanor's 85th birthday, though marked by betrayal, became a turning point that led to personal growth and profound connections. Her legacy is a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there is always hope and the possibility of finding light in unexpected places.